Slowly. To lift my head up. Slow.
It hurt.
Uh-huh.
You gotta start. You gotta do that.
Yeah, I want you to lean it forward and pull my pillow up a little bit. And slide it under my headrest. So my headrest should poke out towards me.
So you got a pillow? I'm ready for you to pillow.
Oh, y'all know it's gonna be a struggle for her.
Right there? Where you at?
Slowly lay it back.
Slow his head. She's scared
Nobody okay. I don't know if he's recording or what. They ain't gonna make no errors.
Hey, it's a whole trial.
On this side. You better not say you good after seeing this many times.
I'm not. Put me in the middle.
If you what?
Towards the middle.
Is it the pillow? I feel like he may have pulled it up too high.
Right.
Okay, that's what I thought he did. Yeah.
No. Wait. It's just right here on it, so you tell us if it's too when it's good.
Put it in the crack.
Stop. Is better?
I need my shirt raised up.
Forward.
Yeah.
Take a break off.
I'm not raised up.
Tiffany, sometimes Sean.
Is it not funny? Is that better?
Just my head is short.
Go ahead. Thomas already know I only wash dishes and clean houses. This part.
She sound like an old school wife.
I mean, listen. We had our one epic moment where I had to do it by myself, but everybody else.
Is it?
Just let me back one notch.
She's so scary.
When his life is in my hand. Back one.
Alright.
Boom.
So.
Wait.
I'm just gonna have to do this. Because it's literally too much.
Okay. Your feet okay?
Maybe his hood, we can fix it, push it up some maybe to help him.
Is your this?
His hoodie,
Feet
yeah.
alright?
Make it more comfortable.
I don't think it's out there. Can need to get down low.
You need to slide down some.
Alright. So, what was Thomas' childhood like? Thomas, what was your childhood like?
Well, our childhood was, I would say, it was a little rough. You know, due to some unfortunate events and decisions, we had to, you know, go to the shelter for a little while. But we were fortunate to live with family members. You know, we had family members come take us in. And, you know, we stayed with one of our great aunts. Um, and that probably was my favorite place to stay out of all the family members that we stayed with. What's y'all think? Ain't gonna be.
I was saying we'll
And
leave
Louisa.
Yeah. We had a male cousin,
Yeah.
and he was older than me. So, I kind of had somebody to play with, somebody to beat me up, and challenge me. I think we had two of our female cousins that was with us.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, whenever it was time to leave, I really didn't want to leave. I felt comfortable there. And then we had to move to Arcadia, Oklahoma, and live with grandma. Living with grandma, it wasn't bad. I feel like a country kid, though.
4th of July's.
Yeah.
Firefight.
When we
Firecrackers
came
and
to
pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of cousins and family members that stayed up there. Because I think that's where my mom's side was from. So that was cool. I had no problem staying there. I want to say, after grandma's, we went back to the shelter for a little while. And then we ended up staying with another one of our great aunts. And, I'm grateful for everybody that took us in. And, I love our children that stayed there, but, it was hard living there. I'll just say that.
Especially you were the only boy there.
Yeah.
She had 4 girls, and
Yeah,
then us
3
3 girls,
Right.
and then it was just you.
Yeah. And actually, that was ironic because it was a house move, And
So our
Yeah.
girls were late teenagers,
Right.
and grown.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. And then
Yeah.
one of them had kids.
right.
Yeah, what, 2 or 3 little kids when we was there.
Mm-hmm. And so, we stayed with her the longest, and we ended up moving a lot. So, in between all of those places, you can imagine how many different schools we've been to. And living with her, I realized how much I wanted my daddy back. it was real hard because um, there were different forms of punishment that I thought were cool at the time, and as I got older, they ended up being more cruel than I thought, you know. And you know, we all stick together. We didn't like a lot of what we were made to do. You know, we didn't really like what was forced upon us, but you know, we had to adjust to the situation, and we've done that pretty much our whole life since we were children. We've adjusted to every situation that's come up. Yeah, I can chime in.
I think the one thing that I am the most happy about is the fact that we were never separated.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, all the houses we went to,
Messing us all.
we all had each other's back at one point or another. I can count a couple times where somebody got in trouble for the other one because we didn't want.
You.
It would have been easier if they separated us. If you really think about it, if you think about like all the kids and families who have like 4 kids, they probably not together. They probably separated in different houses. That's one thing we didn't have to do. But like you said, we did have to adjust to every house because I don't even think that's all the houses we went to. Those are just the ones that like we stayed longer stints of time.
Wow.
But yeah, I would say, because I mean, we were talking earlier, we don't even remember why we left those places, but I think as a kid, it was hard for us to not know why. Because in a sense, we felt like you didn't want us anymore. And so, I mean, that made us stronger and closer together, but at the same time, how old were we? Because when we moved with Daddy, I was in 3rd grade.
I was in the 5th grade.
So what, 10, 11?
And I was 6.
We were younger.
I'm talking about when we moved with Daddy. So you were 10? So we were little kids, elementary age kids, feeling like no one wanted us that many times.
Every day could be another day that you going somewhere else, or you could be backing up at any point, any time, any day.
Yeah. I think the best time is for them anyway was when we moved with Daddy.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Why is it them?
Why is it that was the best time? Why you said it?
It's home. At the end of the day, it's home. Like,
Yeah.
everybody great, they come in, they took us in, but ain't nobody like your parents.
I need to clarify why I said for them. So when we lived with my Aunt Twyla, I would just say I was easily persuaded, and I believe she may have been going through some things at the time to where I think she did become close to us to where she didn't want us to leave and maybe not handle it the best way. And I was persuaded that going with him wasn't the best thing. But I mean, now almost 30, I couldn't imagine not going to stay with my dad and everything I've learned from him and taught from him and all that. But at the time, as a 3rd grader, I didn't want to go. And then even after we got there, in my mind, I kept thinking something's going to happen and they're going to move us again. I didn't think it was permanent, even with what everybody was telling us, because we didn't think we were going to have to leave the other places either, but we did. So luckily we didn't have to. We stayed from 3rd grade on, but even with him,
So who's the oldest, like oldest to youngest?
I'm the oldest.
Okay.
I'm second.
And I'm fourth.
Okay.
Man.
See, I did a lot of like taking care of each other. Then, huh?
You know, for the most part. Yeah, it was, yeah, it probably was more emotionally,
Mm.
you know, because we did want our parents. Like she said, there were a lot of times that we didn't want to go. I remember whenever I left my grandma's house and was just at my toilet, I might have cried for 2 or 3 days straight, you know, so that was just, yeah, you telling me this is my family, but that's an unfamiliar face,
Right.
you know.
Cause I didn't know Aunt Walila before. We didn't know Aunt Walila before we moved with her. Personally, we didn't know Antwala before we moved with her. So for us, you're telling us she's family, but we don't really know that. We're just going by what the grown people tell us. But we didn't know them. They're not like our first cousin or our aunt. They're like great aunts.
So you didn't really know them?
No, not until we moved with them. Mm-mm.
Wow.
So,
To be honest, I don't even know how Aunt Walila is really related to us. I think it's through grandma.
Or is she a friend of the family?
I ain't believe it.
Is her mom and grandma's mom sisters?
Away.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
And they always kept y'all together, you said.
Yeah.
That's good.
I remember they did try and separate us once. I think they tried to take Tiffany
Of course.
because she was the baby. But I don't remember how, but they didn't. They didn't do it. But yeah, I remember they tried to.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you know Tasia and Edwin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We live with
So-
them. That's our Aunt Walila.
Really?
They
Yeah.
are
Her cousin.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Edwin
Yeah.
was who he was always with.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The biggest head on the pillow.
Leroy comes as our uncle. Well, he's our cousin.
But he's
But
so
we
much
call
older,
him
so we call him
Yeah,
Uncle.
that's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
he used to go with my aunt in high school. That's how actually he used to be my coach when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Historic sports. That's crazy.
Thanks.
I went to school without him and all that. That's
But
crazy.
yeah, you know, my daddy, he got out of prison in '97, and then we moved to him, and there was a sense of satisfaction of being back with him. But I will say, in my opinion, we got a rude awakening. And I say that because in prison, he had gave his life to Christ, and so he had changed his life around. And when he got out, he was a lot more strict than what I remember from when he was out. And so that right there was new to me because he also married my stepmom. And she had 3 children. Only 2 of them were in the house when we got there. That's my brother Robert and Chris. And so like in a house with other children, you're not really able to love on your own children, because you don't want to show no division or favoritism. So that was tough because it was like, man, we miss you, but he has the burden of treating everybody the same. And on top of him being strict now. So that was kind of tough for me because I kind of grew up without no rules, especially in the country, living with my grandma. Like I was all on the rodeo ground. I was in the woods. I was at the dump. I was at the park.
It just be back
doing
by the lights.
Yeah. So that was kind of hard for me.
So how old was he?
Why not? Well,
How old were y'all when he went away? Like, how old were you, Thomas?
man, I'm only guessing.
Well, he went in the 90, right? He was there 6 years, so 90,
Yeah,
91.
so
So
I'm
4 or
thinking
5.
4 years old.
So you don't.
So he the only one that got real memories of
Right.
him before he went in.
So
I don't.
So what was that like? Like when you first moved back in, what was it like? Cause you didn't really know him, you know.
Who was out there? Cause we saw him before.
Right.
Yeah,
We
Really?
visited when he
right.
was in jail.
Yeah,
We saw him at a few different funerals.
Yeah.
yeah.
So for me, he was locked up when I was born. So Thomas was the father figure that we knew. And Tara was the mother figure till we graduated from high school. So it's kind of hard to go from like just freely doing what we wanted to do to like going where it was like a whole bunch of structure, or you couldn't do that. You had to do things this way, and we couldn't understand why. So for me, I always had a question of why. But I think it's safe to say, as a parent, it's because this is what I said to do, and it's my way, and you'll understand later. And we understand now, but the transition was very difficult.
I would say moving with Daddy, and we became the Brady Bunch, whether we wanted to or not.
Right.
Right.
It's 3 girls, 3 boys, and we got everything that is expected with a blended family. Of course, this is who we've known, and that's who they knew. So, all of us come into the same house. It's almost like when you get married, you know to an extent. It was worse than when you get married, because when you get married, you at least know this person. You know a little bit about them. In your mind, you love them. You know everything, and then you get married, and you're like, you put 2 people who didn't grow up together in the same house, and now it's like exist, live together, love each other. Well, for us, it was a little different because if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember meeting like my stepbrothers, maybe even my stepmom a couple of times until we actually moved into the house. So it right off the bat, it was her and her kids, and then us. And I don't think it was anything intentional, but that's kind of what happened because this is who we knew. So all of us in the house, a little house when we first started out, that was hard. Like my stepmom had never had girls, so she didn't know how to necessarily raise girls right away. Same thing with my dad. Like he was 4 or 5 when he went to jail, so he's in his mind, he's starting over. And you don't just get the baby steps of, oh, I have 1 child and then I'm gonna have another one. No, all of a sudden now you got 6 kids. Take care of them, do the best you can. And I think because of some of his past experiences and because of the fact that he didn't want to lose us in any way, he did get super strict.
Yeah.
So that was hard. Now looking back, me personally, I wouldn't change most of it, because even he would probably say he would change some of it, maybe not all of it, but it was hard when you don't really know the person. You're just now dad, and you're, like he said, expecting that love, and you know, you're in the house, but it wasn't quite that when we first moved in. Not quite.
Yeah. And as we grew up, he was just trying to get his business off of the ground. And so that required help from all of us.
Yeah.
You know, like, the boys we worked, like, you know, he taught us how to work.
Don't forget us girls. We used to be in there cleaning them houses and on them roofs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Roaches and-
they did. It's like, I'm grateful for it because I know how to go out there and provide. That's one thing that, you know, they can't take from me. And that's one thing that whenever I got ALS that hurt me is because I'm like, man, my physical abilities to work is gone. That's all I know. You know, but he made us work our summers away. You know,
After school,
after school,
on the weekend.
after practice, before church, and then we went to church 5 or 6 times a week.
We was the usher board, the choir.
The cleanup crew.
We cleaned up. We got there
Y'all did the
early.
music in the back, the boys.
Yep, y'all did the music,
Yeah.
the DJ in the
One
back.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were
See, I was in church 5 days a week.
for a long time. I feel like.
Yeah, like,
Until I was 15, so I know I was 15 when we went to churches.
and I was gone.
Yeah, he was still there.
But like, from 10 to 18, that was our routine. You know, we barely got to go to movies.
We didn't spend the night.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I
No,
know
like
spend the night.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me to go to no party. You know,
This party was my graduation party.
and it's like, you know, I remember one time I asked to go to the movies, and I would have to do that and I would sleep to parties. Like,
I was too scared.
so,
I didn't know.
but it was super strict, man. But I knew where it came from. For one, he had missed a lot of time. 6 years. That's a lot of time. And 2, he didn't want us to go down his path. You know what I'm saying? So, I didn't understand it then. But as I got older, I understood it, man, because I hear so many people who tell us that we're so respectful. I've had so many friends tell me they look up to me because I know how to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's amazing to me.
That's crazy. Like, Dr. Beeson said the same thing about your kids. Like, just now, before I left. Like, it's you know what I'm saying? So it's like a, you know, trickle
Yeah.
down. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask, you got One of y'all tell me a funny story about Thomas when he was little. Something he did.
TA.
Oh.
TA.
What?
You go first. You was probably in it with him.
I'm not first.
You was probably in it with him.
I know. He didn't do that. He got in trouble for it.
Yeah.
What?
Man, so me and Tiffany.
Don't say me and Tiffany.
No, you was right there with me.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. We ain't gonna get in trouble
We
now.
stand with our eye. We took some chicken out the fridge. And we put it underneath his bed so he didn't get in trouble. We didn't do it so
I was
he
saying
get
do it to
so-
get him in
to get him
trouble.
in trouble, but we was like, we taking the blame, so we threw it on his bed and got in trouble.
And
But
it
he
was
took
bed.
the rap for it. He didn't tell on nobody.
Well, it was
Yeah.
bedtime, so we had already snuck. So it was like we can't do it 2 times. We can't leave the room and then go to the kitchen and then leave the room again because they gonna know.
Y'all, what time
So-
was bedtime? It was
7,
light
8.
outside.
It was bedtime.
It was
7 o'clock.
bedtime.
It was 7.
So his room was the closest to us. So we was like, we just gonna put it under his bed.
It wasn't intentional.
Y'all planted the evidence.
Yeah,
That's
like we didn't say we was gonna get the chicken to give to, like, you know, get him in trouble, but it was like, so I'm gonna put it. So,
Sorry, but
It's all good.
we used to be in trouble together all the time. Like, we used to be on the wall, just sitting there.
I would say, yeah, y'all two were the ones in trouble the most when we lived with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas, you being the oldest, did you feel like a lot more responsibility, like
absolutely.
to make sure that it was okay? Especially you, them being girls, you.
I would say, not as a child, because I didn't understand what that was until I got older. And so, I think that came maybe whenever I moved with my daddy, because now it's like she said, it's like a somewhat of a division, and it's like, hold up, you can't do that, you know what I'm saying? And so I think that's when I became more protective of them.
Do y'all want to talk about your mommy or?
No.
Yeah.
Just make her ass. I'm trying to think of something.
We just not gonna do that.
Yeah.
You can ask him whatever you want about me and maybe what they do to help and how they feel. I mean,
What were y'all like when y'all first found out you were diagnosed with ALS? What were y'all reactions like? How did y'all take that?
So his diagnosis came 2 days before my 21st birthday, and I knew something was wrong with him at my dinner, but I didn't know what it was. And so when he called me, I just was in denial, like, nah, bro, you good, like, this ain't nothing, like, we're gonna get past this. And I would, like, send him texts, like, day after day, and he'll, like, send, like, encouraging words back to me to, like, tell me not to worry, like, we got this, we good, keep your head up. So for me, it was like, okay, well, if he's good, then I have to be good, because if I'm not, then he won't be.
Not for me, like, I don't know. I think, I'm not gonna say I was in denial, but I guess I was. I mean, I knew something was going on. I knew when he told me, but I was just like, I guess I was under the impression like, well, that's that, but then what's next? Like, okay, they told you this, alright, so what now? Like, it didn't hit me right away. It didn't hit me for a long time. Like, it was probably like a year later, like when things started happening.
So when we start seeing symptoms.
Like, honestly, like, it didn't hit me till, I think I saw a video of a guy, He was doing the ice bucket challenge, and he had it, and he started talking, and I was like, oh no, but like I never really showed it because like, what's it hit you, and you're like, all right, let me get together, but like when he told me, I was like, bro, you good? Don't worry about it. It ain't, it's kind of like, to me, it was like I don't like sound bad. I didn't take it as serious as most people took it because I guess I didn't believe it.
You think you were in denial?
I guess so. Like, I mean, I knew it was there, but I didn't think it would stay. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Like they was gonna
Oh, we good. That's nothing. Like, we can get over that. It's even knowing, like, I didn't know anything about it, but he, like, kind of gave me the rundown. But it was just like, okay, you're going to be all right.
And I think the fact that we didn't know much about it
Yeah.
played a part into our mindset,
Yeah. Like, if it was, like, cancer or something, that's something that we know about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, my gosh, But it was like, oh, even though we knew there wasn't a cure, it was just like, he's still gonna be good though, we're gonna be alright, until it started happening, and it's like, I mean, when it happened, it's just like, dude, like, wait, what's that? Like, wait, like, when that happened, it's like day after, like, you'll be gone for like a week or two or like a month, and it's like, wait, what's going on? Why is this happening? So it's crazy.
What's that like seeing him like the gradual regression, like progression of the disease?
No, I didn't go.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
She's like, I was waiting for my turn.
I was very patient. So I remember a couple days before, because at the time I was living in Texas, and I remember like talking to him, and everybody who knows Thomas know he ain't just gonna give you everything. You gotta kind of like, bro, why you here? You supposed to be out of town. Like, why you here extra day or extra 2 days? I'm going to the doctor. What for? And he don't really give you too much. You just say, I'm getting weak. But you like, think go lift more in your head. You don't think nothing too much. And I remember like, I knew he had a doctor's appointment. I one of those people, I like put it in my planner or calendar in my phone to call him. I was calling him. I was on my way from work. And I called him, and I asked him, I'm like, hey, bro, how was your doctor's appointment? Bro, he dropped the phone. I'm like, screaming in the phone, like, Gabby, pick up the phone. So she picks up the phone, and she, like, explains to me, like, what happened, and that they went to the doctor and ALS. And I'm different in the fact that, like, I don't believe in denial. I pulled over. I was about to get on the highway. I, like, got off, pulled over, Googled it, looked it up while they was on the phone, and I was like, because in my mind, I'm like, why is he crying? We don't see him cry. Right. Why is he crying? He can't even tell me what it is. And I'm sitting here on the side of the highway, literally on the shoulder of the highway, Googling ALS, and I'm like, and I remember telling Gabby, but wait, there's no cure. And she, like, rushed off the phone, and I remember crying on the shoulder of the highway, but that was my, like, wait. I mean, like, in them, I sat there for like 30 minutes. I seen life expectancy. I seen what was supposed to come up next, all that. And in that moment, I felt like, how am I supposed to help? I can't. I live in Texas. I got my own family, all this stuff. And I'm just like, you look at the life expectancy and you're like, wait, what? And it's like, we don't know how long he had already had it, any of that. And I'm just like, didn't know what to say. I remember my husband asked me about it, and I couldn't talk to him about it. But that was probably one of the hardest days. And I mean, I didn't have denial. It was me being blunt. I'm about to lose my brother. That's how I felt that day. And I'm just like, I even kind of became distant because it was for a little bit, whether he even knew it or not. But it was because I'm like, I can't help you, and that hurts. I mean, they know, like, I'm kind of motherly, whether I mean to be or not.
Yeah.
And I can't fix you. I can't help you. I can't even like help you do anything, especially with me not being there. So that was a hard day. I mean, and then just think about it. It's like in my mind, we breaking up us four. It put a wrench in a lot of things. just in your thoughts in your mind. 'Cause I mean, on your day-to-day things, like, of course he has to deal with all this stuff, but every day or so, we like in our mind, how is he? What is he going through? So, but yeah. What was the question? What was your other question? About his day-to-day stuff?
How we're affected by the transition.
Yeah, like you saying, like you see him and leave for a week, come back, see him again, you know, something else is gone. Like, a lot of people have been saying that. So how is that like affecting y'all, like seeing it?
I think my biggest question was why him? For him to be our protector and the glue that kept us together. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, but my biggest question was why him? And for Tara, it was more so of like she couldn't do anything because she wasn't here. But for me, it was like I still couldn't do anything because it was being stripped away from him. So I think the biggest thing that I know how to do was always to just clean, or I knew how he liked his pants creased. I knew how he liked his pants to sit on his shoes. There was a certain way that he wanted things. And I always picked that up because even when he used to clean our shoes or iron our clothes, I wanted to mimic that. Because I knew he wasn't able to do that, or it was being stripped away. He was able to do it, but it was at a limited capacity.
Oh, for me, it was like, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I felt like I didn't never wanted to offend him. And what I mean by that, like,
Definitely.
when it didn't really, like his hands and stuff was first, but like when he first started his talking, and you know, he would drink and stuff like that. He was drinking, I was like, he sound drunk. But then, cause like you'll be gone for a week or two, and it's like, oh no, wait, and I had already said it to him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm dwelling on it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like super horrible, because I'm sitting there talking about he sound drunk, and he never said anything to me about it. Like, I'm just at his house chilling, like, you drunk? You been drinking today? Like that. And it's like, okay, I'm what? but it's just one of those things, and it's like just lately, you see, you know, certain things like he'll like, oh yeah, we gotta teach you how to do this. Or we gotta teach you how to do that. I'm like, bro, I already know how to do that. No, it's different.
It's a new thing.
No, it's different. Like, bro, I was just over here last week. Like, what you mean? Like, I was just over here a couple days ago. And he was like, nah, it's different. Tara told me it's different. And I'm like, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I feel like, you know, when he started his eating, you know, his when he became a vegan, I feel like for a long time, it's almost like it stopped. And I was telling people, I'm like, man, I was like, I feel like he's doing so much better. It stopped, you know. I feel like it stopped. And I asked him one day, I'm like, do you feel better? And he was like, I mean, no. I'm like, I feel like it just stops. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then it started, you know, things started going. And I feel like, you know, it's kind of like hair. It stopped for a little bit, but then it started growing. And it sucks. It really do. But I felt like at that point, it stops. And I do think his eating, you know, helped it slow down. You know, I know things aren't working the way he wanted to work and the way we wanted to work, but I do think it's slowed down a little bit. So it's cool to, you know, see him like one day, and the next day he's actually doing the same thing and not going back trying to learn things every time. But yeah, that was mine.
So I moved back maybe November.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So like I said, I am motherly and super hands-on. So when I can, I try and come back. And I mean, I probably spend a couple days a week at his house. And it's crazy how in November, certain things he could do pretty easily. He could move his legs in certain positions, where now it's like, nah, sis, grab my leg. And like she said, like, it's a lot of people where it's like they're there one day and they could be gone just, you know, this week, and then it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean, legit, like he can't lift his leg, you got to do it for him. And it's just crazy how like in 5 months time, how much can change. Even like simple things like he used to like his head on that side. Now that don't work no more. It hurts him, so he likes it on this side. Tomorrow, that side might feel better for him. And it's just like little things like that. It honestly, in the last couple of months, I've even told Gabby, appreciated her more. Me and Gabby have always gotten along. We've been always good, but it's like when you get to sit with him all day long and you get to experience what she does and all day long, it's like
on top of 3 kids.
You are Superwoman. And it's like she has to learn every day and try not to get frustrated. And of course he has to try not to get frustrated as well. But it's like every day it can be different. I can't even imagine sleeping. Like I already know sleeping is rough. If the day-to-day stuff is like laying on your back nonstop all day, all night. Like I move your head a couple times. I'm being nice. A couple times a day. And at nighttime when you just laying there, I can only imagine. But it's just crazy. It's hard. I mean, some days I go home and I cry. Most of the time I don't tell him because it's like, what the heck does he need to be concerned with how I'm feeling in real life? Like, I know him and I know he probably is, but sometimes you just keep that to yourself because he got enough to be worried about. When I'm with him, when I'm around him, he's my focus. He's my attention. I shouldn't be concerned with anything else, but it's just crazy how much changes in a week. 5 months is crazy as well, but...
What else you got? 'Cause I asked her a question about something else. What are some things y'all want people to know about Thomas that they may not know or you want them to know?
Big sister.
You understand or?
When
Got my bag. Trying to throw me.
So
first.
for me, I always used to say in his silence, he says a lot. And then when he do speak, you better listen. Like that's just how it goes. So when he call and say, Tiffany, I need to talk to you, I know it's serious. You drop everything that you got going and you figure out how you get there. That's really mine.
I mean, for me, he's a realist. Just life, period. Like the conversations we have, just everything. Like he knows when to check you. He knows when to, hey, you need to chill. Like it's crazy because he's introvert, but he knows what to say. When to say it, and that's just what it is. Like you look up and he's like telling you stuff. You be like, for real? All right, because you know that he's not just talking. He'd been sitting there and he'd been watching and he'd been looking and he'd been paying attention. And it's like, all right, I got you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why.
He ain't nobody. I'm just kidding. I would say, from my observation, he doesn't see himself as strong or all the things that we say he is. I think mostly because he is still in pain. He still deals with the struggle of ALS every day. But I think for the most part, he spends his day focused on everybody else, which is so crazy for somebody who to be dealing with everything he's dealing with. He's worried about our parents and, of course, his kids. Like, you sit with him all day long, and he can literally tell you where everything is in the house. And I don't even think it's just so he knows, but I think it's so it'd be easier for everyone else. which is so crazy to me because I can't tell you where half the stuff is in my own house. But he considers everyone, I feel like, when he's making a decision, which is super selfless, which makes me feel like such a butthole sometimes because I'm not like that. But it's not just one person. He's like that with everyone. I don't think he plans on giving up is what I'm gonna throw that in there, because giving up, I feel like people are like, don't give up. But in real life, what does that really mean? He has ALS. He wants to live. He's gonna do everything he can to live, but at the end of the day, like, he is a realist in that right now, ALS kind of has a grip on him. I want people to consider when they say keep fighting, how that could kind of come off. Maybe it's just me. This is not anything from him, but for me, I say, brother, keep living, keep enjoying your kids, keep enjoying your wife. Keep fighting, I don't necessarily say, because like it's not necessarily his fight in my opinion. It's today you're here, today you're alive, today you're loving on your kids, today you're loving on all of us, and I'm happy you're here today. Like, let's take this day at a time and stop focusing on what are you doing to fix your ALS. Are you in any clinical trials? Are you in any of this thing, all this stuff? Like, let's just enjoy Thomas today. Pick up the phone, call him, say, hey, stop by, but let's enjoy him while he is here and has the function that he has and love us right now. But that's just where I am. Let's stop focusing on how he's gonna fix it. Right now, it can't be fixed. Let's love on him as is.
Is there some things that people may ask out or anything like that about Thomas? Like, do people come to y'all with questions and stuff?
Oh,
How is he today?
Yeah, how you doing?
My response is always, he's taking a day at a time.
Yeah.
I don't really know how else to answer it, so.
it's the same answer for all three of us. He's good, because he is good.
Yeah.
He's dealing with it the best way he know how. And if his mindset is good, our mindset is good. Because if you pay attention to ALS and his progression, I believe they said that he had 3 to 5 years. Thomas kept a certain mindset that kept him pushing. So if you look at other people that had ALS, he kept a certain mindset that kept him pushing. So if you look at different people who have ALS, their progression was probably a lot quicker than his is. And so I always say everything starts in the mind. What you think is going to be your reality. So for him, he's always positive. When he feel like he can't do it or he don't know what to do, then that's where we step in as a support system. But
what are some ways y'all do to like support him, help him out?
For me, it's always cleaning, folding clothes, going to pick up his children. I
picked him up
I picked him up one time, but look at me,
did good,
I'm
girl.
real small. So, like I said earlier, he likes things a certain way, and I'm like his little puppet. I like things a certain way, just like he do, and I think that's where I got it from. So when he say I want my shirt folded this way, or hey Tiffany, clean up the kitchen, can you fold these clothes? You just do it because you want to make the load lighter for everyone around him, including my sisters, his wife, his children, anybody who just helps around that house a lot.
Yeah, I don't know, like I just go over there and help,
Make them laugh.
the day-to-day things, I mean, I am there to be funny. No, I'm just playing.
No.
I'm there day-to-day, to help with the day-to-day things when I can. And, I just we just have a good time regardless. Like, I know he'd probably be like, they'll chill, but I know he be having fun.
She's our lifter.
He's having fun. But, so, but yeah, you just, I mean, honestly, that's just, as long as you can brighten up somebody's day, like, that's probably one of the best things you can give them, you know? Like, nobody want to be sitting at his house sad, thinking about things going on in his life. No, we about to have fun. Just, even if we're in the house, like, he crack jokes, we crack jokes all day. Like, all day, you know? I should have a 6-pack by now, but
It's okay.
all the laughing that we do. But yeah, we just like to have fun and hang out.
I just do whatever you ask.
Alright.
Anything he don't.
No, so I have the luxury of having a pretty flexible job, in that I work from home. So I had already made up in my mind when I moved back that I was gonna help because when I wasn't here, I couldn't do much. So it's great because I also have my daughter and he has his son, and so our kids are like siblings at this point. They argue like siblings, they play like siblings, all of that. And so I get to sit at the house with him a couple times a week and just kind of help out during the day. I'm able to get some work done. A lot of times I work at night on those days just to make sure I'm able to get all my work done, but it's just an interesting opportunity in that I get to spend time with this dude over here. And like she said, I don't think we've laughed as hard as we have since we were kids. Like some of the stuff we talk about, I'm like, we really laughing at this right now. We really looking at this right. Okay.
But you feel closer.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm there a couple times a week. It's kind of fun because I also get to be a good aunt, is what my nephew called me today, practicing our numbers and letters and stuff. So that's always cool. And then just being around them more. I mean, I love being able to help them in the day-to-day stuff, like she said, but just being able to just sit and just be there is kind of cool. That's something I was missing when I lived in Texas. That's what all of them. Eventually, when I get my house, we're going to do it in my own house, but that's something I miss with my siblings, being able to just sit and chill. And I mean, growing up, you know, you fought with your siblings, but we grown now. We ain't got nothing to fight about. So
like looking back, like when y'all were kids, like going from house to house, y'all just, is that some of the things y'all look back and laugh about it now, or?
Absolutely.
We make jokes now. We talk about how, like, I stole cheese a couple times.
She beat up boys.
I did. So, if you know me, I don't fight. And that was the 2 times that I fought the same little kid. But it's all right. We laugh now. And then, like you said, moving from house to house, like, it definitely had its downsides, but we had moments where we laughed. We had good cousins that we were around, and I mean, we could have been homeless. So, yeah, our bedtime was like 7. We used to sneak up all the time. So
our cousins used to help us out.
We did. We did. Thank God for church.
For sure.
I said it.
We would have never knew about all that.
I think, I don't know. You got anything else you think of?
I really good.